Okay, so let's go through some of these options here. If Democrats do indeed try to do this without Republican support, what position does that put President Biden in? I mean, here he was extending sort of an olive leaf and inviting 10 Republican senators to the White House.
Sure. And Biden has said throughout his campaign during his inaugural that he wants to be a bipartisan president, that he wants to work with Republicans. He wants to bring unity back to Washington. And this is sort of his first big test to do so. And it is an issue where you do see a little bit of bipartisan compromise, certainly more in this particular field than you might see in, say, immigration policy or in raising the minimum wage. And so there's a question here. If Biden can't get this done at this point, if he can't work with Republicans, what does that mean about the next 2 years and the rest of his administration? On the other hand, of course, if Biden does negotiate, if he does go down in the amount of funding that the federal government will be providing, there are Democrats who are saying, hey, we're concerned, the American people are struggling, small businesses are struggling. We need to do what we can to help them. And the Republican proposal simply doesn't go far enough. So unfortunately, I think if you're President Biden, you're not going to be able to pull off a particular win-win on this one.
What about when it comes to the size of those payments, direct payments to Americans? I mean, $2,000 is what many Democrats campaigned on, especially in the special election in Georgia, and we saw widespread support for that among Democrats, and even, in fact, some Republicans supporting that.
Absolutely. I mean, the two Democratic senators from Georgia, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, they reminded their colleagues in a phone call that that whole $2,000 checks was part of the reason why they were able to win and to carry Georgia. And so you see in Biden's plan, it's technically $1,400. That would be the $2,000 minus the $600 that's already been sent out in stimulus. Biden does have that in his plan. Republicans would reduce that to only $1,000, but they would also reduce the number of people that check would be sent to. Under their proposal, if you're an American, an individual, and you make $40,000, you would get the full amount. And then a little bit after that, if you make up to $50,000, you get a piece of it. But anyone making more than $50,000 per year as an individual would not be receiving any stimulus under the Republicans' plan.
Bloomberg Government's Emily Wilkins. Emily, thanks so much for your time. Great as always to have you join us on Quick Take.